Now you need to understand this. Just like in the Old Testament, just like you saw with them, and just like in the life of a believer, you have to understand that actions have consequences. So just because God will never leave you or forsake you doesn't mean you're doing everything right. It doesn't mean you're always walking in His will and always in His ways and no, obviously we see here, I just shown it. Even as a believer, you can walk in the light or you can walk in darkness. Just because He's with you in those things, you have to understand that does that mean that He's going to cast you off if you're walking in darkness, or He's just going to get rid of you or do away with you? No, it doesn't mean that. It means that you might be headed towards a rebuke, because a loving Father who loves His children, if they're wayward, will bring them back and He will rebuke them. The Bible's very clear about that. So we should know the difference, but you have to understand actions have consequences. Galatians 6:7 says, God will not be mocked. What a man sows, he will reap. Know this in your life. Listen, this is for you. Whether this is for an unbeliever, this is for a believer. Is that God will not be mocked. What you sow, you will reap. If you sow darkness, don't be surprised when you reap darkness. If you're sowing the fruit of darkness, if you're sowing drunkenness, if you're sowing adultery, if you're sowing hatred, if you're sowing your heart being far from God, if you're sowing rebellion, do not be shocked when in your life things start falling apart. Do not be shocked. Don't blame God when things start falling apart. Don't say, oh God, this is all your fault. I can't believe you let these things happen to me. No, your sin happened to you. Your rebellion is happening to you. And God will not be mocked. He will not let, especially for His sons and daughters, He will not let these things go unpunished. He will not let them go undealt with. Think about it in your own life. If your son or your daughter is going wayward, you lovingly will deal with that. So will God. It says that God, if you're being chastened as a believer, that's God's love towards you, not His hatred. That you need corrected. God will correct His children. And so but now the flip side to that as well. If you sow light, if you sow love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, you sow psalms and spiritual songs and your heart of a love for the brethren, you will reap those things in your life. If you think, I don't got friends, man, nobody likes me, I just don't start sowing friendship in your life. Stop being mad that nobody talks to you or you're not feeling loved or whatever. You start talking to others. You start reaching. You start sowing goodness in your life and you will reap goodness. You start sowing love in your life and you will reap love. You start sowing joy in your life, even when you don't feel like it sometimes, and you will reap joy. Start sowing peace in your life. Your life will be more peaceful.